I want to show you how I set up my sewing machine. Now this is a baby lock. It's a Crafter's Choice. I'm here at my home sewing machine. I have a Bernina over at the shop, and it works pretty much the same way. And most sewing machines, your better quality sewing machines, have this option. I'm not sure how expensive you have to get in a sewing machine to have this option. But when I went to look for another machine, this is something that I definitely wanted to make sure I had. And what I'm talking about is the needle positioner. If you can see, I have a 1/4 inch foot on the machine. You probably can't see that too well right here, but you will in a minute. What I do to start off with, I have a little tool. It's called a Perkins Dry Goods is where it's from. I don't even remember where I picked this up. I may have picked this up at Checkers or whatever. But what it is it's a little tool, and it's got a line, a 1/4 inch seam line right here, but it also has a hole right in the middle of it. So what I can do is I line my needle right up to the hole, and I put my needle down, and it goes down in it. And I can look at my 1/4 inch foot and see if that's right on it. I do this from machine to machine because many times when I start on one machine, like if I'm over at the shop and start on my Bernina and then come over here, you know, I want to make sure that that seam is exactly the same. So I'll start off using this tool. Then what I do, after I know I've got the 1/4 inch correct and my, you know, my guide is showing a 1/4 inch, what I'll do next is I will, let me zoom this in for you. Bear with me. We might be at the zoom right now. Okay, what I like to do is to take my needle positioner at that point, and I can move that to the right or to the left. Can you see that move to the right or to the left? Now that's my center position. That's where my 1/4 inch was. But what I like to do is move it to the right just a hair. And when I put it down, most 1/4 inch feet have a little hole, so you can't move it over too much, and actually that would be too much if you could. But I move it over just a hair so that I can get my needle still down in the hole, but what it does is it makes it more of a scant 1/4 inch. And many times when you have a lot of blocks, these are actually going to have, this block is actually going to have 9 pieces to it, or 9 blocks sewn together. And a lot of times when I have smaller pieces, it's going to be a 9.5 inch block. When I get done, if I use that 1/4 inch, a lot of times the thread and the creasing, you know, the ironing and stuff, sometimes sucks in a little bit, and many times I'm shy of the 9.5 inches that I need to be finished with. So if I move my needle position over just a hair to begin with, many times that makes my block come out very accurate. I do want to add something at this point. Some machines do have the needle positioner, but say there's only like 4 or 5 different positions. That may not be enough. That might give you too much of a scant 1/4 inch. This machine happens to have about, I don't know, about 13 different positions, as you can see it. You know, that's one, that's another one. They're very tiny needle positioners. So what I'm telling you here may or may not work for the machine you have. It's just something to keep in mind if you do have a machine that has a lot of small little increments on the needle positioner. That just seems to work for me.